Hi, welcome to the Art Life video blog, day number 146. I'm Katie Tallman.
I'm Jacob Wolf. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. So Katie, do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and your art?
Yeah, well, first off, I'm actually a graduate student working on my PhD in chemical biology, so that takes up the bulk of my time. So art is what I do in the evenings, on the weekends, just to keep me sane, I would say, and use a different part of my brain.
Right on. You said chemical biology?
Yeah.
Is that kind of your main passion, and this is kind of, or?
I would say, yeah, that's a bit of a tough question. When I was in high school, I really liked science. I started liking art too, but I didn't really think that I'd be able to get very far with it. I thought that would be a really tough life, concentrating on that. And since I was pretty academically inclined, it just seemed like science was the right path to go to. But the more I go into science, like, the more art I need to do to balance it out, I would say.
Right on. When did you first start getting into art? Was that in college?
No, actually, well, I grew up liking art. I think that's not, like, super uncommon, though, for a lot of kids.
For sure.
And then I wanted to take a jewelry making class at my high school. I thought that sounded really cool. In order to take that, you had to take basic art. So I took basic art and really liked it, and ended up needing a class, so I took painting and ended up being good at it. So I stuck with it from then on.
What kind of stuff did you find yourself painting when you started?
Yeah, so when I started painting, I actually did a lot of black and white portraits. I was really into photorealistic things. Part of starting down that portrait road was just seeing portraits that some people I knew online had, like, purchased, and kind of thinking, well, I can do better than that. So I started painting portraits.
Nice.
And I never really saw myself doing the type of art that I do now, because I was so focused on photorealism. But eventually, I just kind of wanted to change to something that was freer, less structured, especially with the science being so structured and following protocols and trying to get reproducible results. I wanted to do something that was just more free-flowing, something that I couldn't reproduce. And
more right brain.
Yeah, definitely. So I transitioned into doing this kind of abstract art using some alternative painting techniques, a lot of alcohol dissolves and stuff like that to try to create cool textures.
When did you make this decision?
It was a bit gradual, I guess. Well, part of it was I wasn't painting as much as I had been, because it was kind of, to sit down and do a portrait became actually kind of stressful. It's like, is it going to turn out, type of thing. So I wasn't really painting. Then I bought a book called Acrylic Revolution that had a lot of alternative acrylic techniques in it. And so just flipping through that book, it just looked kind of fun to just try this stuff. So I did a bit of that in college, but then it wasn't until last summer that I really started doing it, like, kind of nonstop at times. And yeah, so I guess that was my transition, was mostly last summer.
When did you graduate, and when did you start working on your I'm sorry, did you say you're working on your master's?
Yeah, I'm working on my PhD.
PhD.
Yeah. So I graduated from college in 2010, and 2 weeks after graduation started grad school. Yeah, so it was back to back, and now I just started my 6th year of school, so should be finishing soon, hopefully.
Right on.
Yeah.
And what do you want to do with that?
I want to work in industry. I think biotech's pretty cool. My lab focuses a lot on, like, developing new technologies, so I think it'd be interesting to stay in that area.
Do you think that that influences your art?
I think it definitely influences my art. Sometimes my art feels like little experiments. It's always like, what happens when I do this? Are there more solvents that I could bring in? Like, I use a lot of isopropyl alcohol, so then I wanted to, like, in the lab, like, acetone pretty much dissolves everything, so I tried acetone. It didn't really work though. It's like I tried hydrogen peroxide and some of these other things, just trying to see what happens, but so far I haven't really succeeded in finding my new favorite solvent. But in terms of the way I layer things, or the different mediums I mix, definitely very experimental.
So what do you consider your art? Like experimental abstract?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
I guess I was just putting words in your mouth. I'm sorry.
No, I like that.
Where do you see yourself going with your art?
So this summer is actually when I decided to start putting my art out there instead of just keeping it all in my apartment. Plus I was amassing such number of paintings that, like, I don't have room for all of them anymore. So I'm still in the phase where I'm trying to work on figuring out the art world, figuring out how to get my stuff hanging places.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's where I'm starting. I don't really know where I'm heading because I still just don't have a very good grasp on things, but I mean, I would like to have like a gallery show someday and things like that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I love your work. I keep staring at this one. Does it go this way?
Usually I have it like this, but it's one of the paintings that I change the orientation the most. Some of them, to me, have like a very defined way of hanging, and then other ones I'll change a lot, or some I'll think that I know which way they hang, and then I'll look at them like months later, and it's like, no, that's wrong.
Well, and I'm sure whoever buys the art will determine the final layout of how it'll actually go.
Yeah, I want them to be able to choose, except for if I add like a hanging wire to it, then it kind of suggests how you're supposed to hang it.
So I am throwing a gallery. I've done, I think, 5 or 6 of them so far this year, and the next one will be October 30th.
Mm-hmm.
It will be a costume party, art gallery. So there's going to be a ton of artists, there's going to be live music, hoping to get a confirmation from a surprise musical guest.
Oh, wow.
So stay tuned for that. I hope to be able to announce that soon, but I can't do it quite yet because they said probably. And we paint on the walls. There's free booze and food for everybody. Face painting. It's pretty wild and crazy party. And now we're adding the element of a costume party to it, so I can only imagine how fun. We have a stripper pole. And then to top the night off, the cherry on the Sunday is an art raffle. So all of the artists that I interview, I ask if there's something small that they don't mind donating, and I don't require it to be a part of the show. There's people that don't donate, and we don't hold anything against them. But if there's something small that you wouldn't mind donating, it goes in this big pile of art, and then any of the guests that come in and donate $5 or more to the gallery and the video blog get a raffle ticket, and at the end of the night we just give away a ton of art to a ton of people.
Yeah, I definitely have something I can bring.
It'd be really rad. Do you have any last comments, questions, or concerns about anything?
I'm just excited to try to get my art out there, and I'm thankful for any opportunity.
It'll be really cool. I mean, kind of Halloween-y themed, maybe. Like this stuff is definitely gonna fit in. I think it'll be fun. Cool. Great addition, and I can't wait for people to see it. So stay tuned. Art Life Video Blog Day 146 and October 30th, the 5th effing Friday of the month. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Catch ya later.